Hey guys, what's going on? A lot of you guys have been asking for my opinion on the Mists of Pandaria Druid talent trees, so I'm going to jump right into it. None of this is set in stone. None of these talent trees are set in stone. This is all my opinion, not fact. A lot of people seem to get that mixed up. So let's hop right into it. First off, in the first tier, we have Feline Swiftness. This is your general cat form speed increase talent. The only thing that's different is it increases your movement speed by 10% outside of cat form, which is new. That's definitely a cool change. Most likely I'm not going to get it because Displacer Beast, this next talent, is very, very awesome. This talent works like a Vanish and Blink at the same time, but it blinks you in a random direction, so it teleports you 20 yards in some random direction, purges all your dots, and puts you in stealth for up to 10 seconds. That is pretty sweet. I'm most likely going to get that because it's a cloak and a Vanish and a Blink. Sometimes the Blink's going to fuck you over because it is in a random spot. I'm sure it'll blink you off edges and stuff like Blink glitches out. But hopefully that's not too bad, but that's definitely the best talent in my eyes to pick up for the first tier. And in the last talent works exactly like Stampeding Roar does, but I don't think that's quite as good as Displacer Beast. Displacer Beast looks sweet. And if Displacer Beast breaks roots, I'm not sure if it does. I know Blink breaks roots, but if it breaks roots, then that will be awesome. Next up, we have the second tier talent, Nature Swiftness. This is one of my favorite talents. It's going to make any of your nature spells instant. Definitely something to pick up. It has a 3-minute cooldown, though, which really sucks. That sucks bad. I don't know if there's going to be a glyph or something, maybe. I have no idea, but that blows. Next, we have Renewal. Heals you for 30% of your maximum health. I wasn't sure on it whether to get that or not. It looks good, but I really, really like Instant Cyclone a lot. So, most likely going to go with Nature Swiftness. And I'm sure there'll be some way to lower it, I would think. Maybe not. And then Cenarian Ward. This just looks like a healing talent. I don't care about healing, so I'm not going to really go over that. Fairy Swarm, just like Fairy Fire, but it has a 50% root on it. And it still has a 6-second cooldown. So whether this DRs or not will determine how OP it is. If this diminishing returns, then it's not going to be super OP. But if you can kite people endlessly with this, it's going to be amazing. Definitely going to pick it up even if it does DR. Mass Entanglement, I probably shouldn't have said that I was going to pick that up because these are two also very good talents. That as a Feral Druid that you're able to pick this up is nuts. But Mass Entanglement is going to root your enemies within 12 yards for 8 seconds. Now, whether that lasts 8 seconds in PvP is questionable, because 8 seconds is a long time for an AoE root. It might, I don't know, but damage breaks it, so that you got to keep that in mind. And Typhoon. Now, why would Typhoon be something that I would consider picking up? Because it's only got a 20-second cooldown. As a Feral Druid, you could fuck people over with that on Blade's Edge or something. Now, whether that's worth giving up the armor reduction, the 12% armor reduction, I don't know. And whether it's... I would think this could be something you could pick up if you were good with it. Again, you'd have to test it live to see if it was actually worth picking up. But I think it would be a viable option to actually have Typhoon as a Feral Druid, just because Typhoon's got that annoying-ass knockback that you can just fuck people over with. I definitely think it'd be something viable in rated BGs, because Typhoon is just ridiculously OP in rated BGs, especially on Warsong Gulch and... Any kind of map with the high area that you have to defend, Warsong Gulch, Lumber Mill, anything like that is just really OP. And Mass Entanglement, that's obviously good. It's a hell of a peel for sure. Next tier, we've got Wild Charge. This is Feral Charge, but you can actually have a Feral Charge in caster form, which is definitely interesting. And Moonkin form. So this could actually be a viable Moonkin talent as well. Next, we have Incarnation. This is like Super Druid mode. Now, what this is going to do for Feral Druids, this is most likely what I'm going to pick up. This is going to turn us into a Mega Cat and allow us to hit Ravage out of stealth and Prowl in combat, which is very interesting. That means we could use it defensively and offensively. I guess you could only use it defensively if you didn't have a bleed on you or something. But definitely something that's interesting, that allows you to use all of your abilities outside of stealth. You can use anything you want to. So, the reason why I'd pick this up is because you could pop Berserk and Incarnation and spam Ravage. Just spam it. Well, I guess you don't have Berserk anymore, do you? So, yeah, you don't have Berserk anymore. Just figure that out. Never mind, it's not going to be as OP as I thought. So, Wild Charge might be the viable option then. I might go with Wild Charge then. Now that it's like that. I forgot that I don't have Berserk anymore since that's in the talents. But anyway, depending on how OP that is, this is one of the ones that I'm on the fence about now. The Wild Charge, I'm a big fan of mobility. It's most likely just going to be a Feral Charge for cat form. It doesn't say right here. Now we're on to the next talents, and these are very... Oh, I forgot to go over one. Force of Nature. This just looks like the balance shit. I don't think I'm going to pick that up. Next tier, Demoralizing Roar. It's basically like a bear form roar. Disorients your enemies for 4 seconds. Not going to pick that up most likely because shifting into bear form and then shifting out of bear form to do a 4-second CC. Yeah, it's cool. I'd do it if I didn't have to talent into it, but you have to talent into it. That's kind of lame. Next, I'm going to go with, I'm going to go with Ursol's Vortex. 15 yards. It pulls people. It's like an AoE death grip. It's got a 15-yard range, which is pretty sweet. It's not really that great. I feel like it's a hell of a peel for sure, and it'll be useful, but for it to be this far down the talent tree is kind of lame in my opinion, considering there's talents that I would pick above this one in lower brackets. Like if I could pick up Typhoon instead of this, I obviously would, but I think this is kind of a lame talent. Maybe if it had a longer range, I'd like it more, but I don't really think that's going to be something that's that great. But it'll still be usable, but I don't know, kind of disappointed right there. And then we have Bear Hug, again, a bear form attack. It looks good, but I don't really think it's going to be that great. It does 10% of the Druid's health and damage over... It basically does 30% of your health over 3 seconds. I don't know. And then this bottom line, I have no idea what this means. Effect cancelled if the Druid moves away, attacks, or takes any action. Does that mean you can't run around while you do it, or does that mean you can't target someone else? I don't know really what that means. But whatever, probably not going to pick it up even if you could. Next, in the last tier, this is the tier where you actually have to make a pretty hard decision, in my opinion. You have Heart of the Wild, which is going to increase your stats, make you hit cap. It increases your hit rating by 100%, so you won't miss. Increases your armor in bear form, and allows you to regenerate mana every 5 seconds. You know, that's one of those talents that we've always just had for a long time. Didn't have to really talent into it. We had to talent into it, but it was like a gimme. You just got it to get it. So definitely not one of the big choices for that particular talent, but these two talents are the ones you're really going to have to think about. Next up is Master Shapeshifter. This is the one that I'm really kind of undecided about. This is going to increase your effectiveness at briefly switching forms. I don't know what that means. Does that mean they're taking the shapeshifting off of the GCD if you have this talent? Maybe that's what that means. That would be awesome. And this is where it gets a little weird. Your melee abilities increase your spell damage by 10%, and your non-instant spell casts increase your attack power by 10%. So you're getting rewarded for casting spells, and they give you more attack power, and they're giving you more spell power if you attack people with melee. That's just interesting. But this is going to stack up to 3 times and last for 15 seconds. That's the part that I don't like. It only lasts 15 seconds. So in order to get a 30% attack power buff, you have to cast 3 things and have it 15 seconds and auto refresh it every 15 seconds. So that's going to be a little bit interesting. That's going to really be weird for the play style of Feral Druids. You're going to be casting a lot and very frequently. Because back in BC, you would cast a lot of spells, but generally it was more spread out. Like when you'd cast one spell, you'd cast a bunch of spells. You'd Cyclone a guy, start throwing up some hots, go back in cat form a while, Cyclone a guy, start throwing up some hots. It wasn't something you did frequently that often. If you know what I mean by that. You don't do it consistently at the same time over and over again. But that's really an interesting talent. I'm not sure how that's going to play out. That just really depends on how hard we hit and how much that's really going to help us. But I don't know. Wait, what is this bottom line? Each ability used benefits these effects. I don't know what that means. Each ability used which benefits from one of these effects consumes one application. Oh man, I don't know. That kind of shits on the talent. I can't really say much about this talent because you'd have to be on live to see how OP this was or how non-OP it was, honestly. And the last talent, something I've always wanted ever since they took it away, us being able to shapeshift out of roots. We can actually talent into this. Shapeshifting removes roots. In addition, it heals you for 20%. That's new. It heals you for 20% when you shapeshift, but unfortunately the heal can't be received more than once every 30 seconds, so you shapeshift once, you have to wait 30 seconds to get that 20% heal. But the 20% heal that's pretty awesome. For sure. That's going to be a pretty cool little change right there. But a lot of the times you're going to be wasting it, in my eyes, because you're going to be fighting a Frost Mage, and he's only going to have done one Ice Lance to you, and bam, you're going to use your 20% heal, even though he's only done 8% damage to you or something. Which is going to be a little bit lame, but whatever. Being able to shapeshift out of roots is awesome. And yeah. So anyway, that's my one shot all the way through the talent trees. Sorry if I stuttered a lot. Sorry if it made no sense. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys later.